Hear that? That's the sound of Churchill Downs on the first Saturday in May. Today would have been the 146th running of the Roses, and it's the first time since 1945 that the Kentucky Derby wasn't held on time.
It's sad. It's a bit surreal.
It's mind-blowing. I mean, it's almost creepy.
Well, due to the COVID-19, it's kind of disappointing, but I totally get it and understand why it's necessary.
It's Saturday morning. I'm standing beside the statue of Barbaro outside Churchill Downs. Usually people would be waiting in line to get their pictures taken in front of the iconic Derby-winning thoroughbred. You know, with their seersucker suits, colorful dresses, hats, fascinators, the whole thing. Instead, runners, bicyclists, and passersby drop in to pay their respects.
My friend Julie had a fun idea. We usually go running on the weekends and wanted to run over by Churchill because it would have been the Derby. Just thought it'd be a nice run for the Roses.
Early on, I run into a group of Associated Press photographers who refuse to give up their tradition.
After all the cameras have been brought in, the remotes and everything, we all sit at the table, filthy, dirty, muddy, you name it, and we take a group photo. But we can't do that this year, so we're doing it today.
That got me thinking. Maybe today is the time to focus on memories of the Derby. So I asked people.
And my mom says that even when I was a kid and we lived away from Kentucky for my entire life, she brought us inside and we watched the Kentucky Derby. So I don't think I've ever missed one on the first Saturday of May.
Well, I tell you, one of my favorite Derby memories, and I don't even remember how many years ago this was when it snowed. And I had my beautiful summer dress, and I was here in a winter hat, not my Derby hat, and a winter coat, and it was still so much fun.
Did I mention the weather's perfect today? It's perfect today. Go figure.
Oh, well, my first Derby memory was in 1973. Hat says Secretariat. I was here with my older brother, and I was in the infield, and I was hanging on the door of the tote board in the infield, and the door popped open, and so to avoid the National Guard, I climbed in the tote board. So I was actually leaning out of that tote board watching Secretariat come across the finish line in front of Sham. And so that was how I got addicted to coming to the Derby, and I've been to 42 Derbies.
I have to tell you that before I went to Churchill Downs, I wanted to have a trick up my sleeve, just in case. So on Friday, I talked to who I think is indisputably the Derby's biggest hype man.
This is softball you're throwing at me now, Ryan? Or?
As you can tell, we talked on a video conference.
I mean, look outside today. I mean, wouldn't it be amazing to have 125, 150,000 people at the track today? I've always said the Kentucky Derby is really a celebration of humanity, and it's America's rites of spring.
I asked the mayor what the Derby means to him.
For us, this is a super big 2-week period, both economically, I think it builds civic pride. You know, this is one of the reasons I think our city does so well when we have to rise to big challenges like this, or when Muhammad Ali passed away.
Like he said, if nothing else, it's a day to remember how Kentucky and the rest of the country can come together. And we will come together again, hopefully in September, for the 146th Kentucky Derby. In this story, you heard the voices of
Susan Dillon,
Diane Wilson.
Is William Nelson.
Cindy Shelton.
Catherine Lutner,
Julie, Jesse.
Craig Mueller.
and that last voice was Mayor Greg Fisher. I'm Ryan Van Velzer in Louisville.